Every person has a number so small they stop seeing it. Not the rent, not the car payment, not the purchase that forces a pause before pressing confirm. A smaller number, the amount that leaves your account without becoming a memory. For most people, that number is about $1. A bottle of water, an app upgrade, a convenience fee, something extra at checkout. A tiny expense that disappears so quickly your brain never fully registers it as a financial decision. $1 feels irrelevant because $1 cannot visibly change your life today. But compounding does not care what feels important. It cares about time. It cares about repetition. And it cares about whether money leaves your life with a direction or without one. Here is what $1 a day actually is. $30 a month. $365 a year. Small enough to ignore. Small enough that most people would never believe it matters. Now extend that behavior across 40 years. You open an investment account, a Roth IRA, a simple retirement account where investments can grow tax-free over decades. You set up an automatic transfer for $30 every month. Not enough to hurt. Not enough to impress anyone. Not enough to feel like wealth building. You invest it into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund and leave it alone. And then you continue living your life. You go to work. You forget the account exists. Markets rise. Markets crash. News headlines panic. Recessions arrive. Recoveries follow. The transfer keeps happening. $30 every month. Automatically. After 1 year, you contributed about $365. The account balance is slightly higher. Not life-changing. Not exciting. Almost disappointing. This is where most people quit. Because the human brain expects visible rewards for repeated effort. And investing hides the reward in the beginning. The early years feel slow because compounding is still small enough to be invisible. But invisible does not mean inactive. The machine is already running. 5 years pass. You contributed about $1,825. The balance sits around $2,300, assuming long-term market returns near historical averages. The market has already contributed several $100s on top of your deposits. Money has started producing money. Still small. Still unimpressive. Still easy to underestimate. But here is what changed that does not appear on the statement. You prove that your life does not collapse when $1 a day changes direction. That discovery matters more than the balance itself. Because wealth is usually not destroyed by one catastrophic decision. It is shaped by repeated small behaviors operating quietly for decades. 10 years pass. You contributed about $3,650. The account is now approaching $7,000. For the first time, the growth inside the account begins accelerating faster than your contributions. The compounding curve starts bending upward. Not dramatically, not yet, but enough to notice. This is the moment investing changes psychologically. At first, you feel like you are carrying the account. Later, the account starts carrying itself. 20 years pass. You contributed roughly $7,300. The account approaches $25,000. The market has now added far more than you personally deposited. Your original contributions matter less than the decades attached to them. This is the part almost nobody understands when they start investing. Time matters more than intensity. The first dollar matters more than the perfect strategy. The first automatic transfer matters more than financial motivation. The habit matters more than the amount. Because compounding multiplies consistency, not excitement. Now you're 30. You contributed about $11,000. The account has grown towards $70,000. And something strange happens. The annual market growth during strong years can exceed your entire lifetime contributions from the early decade. The account now moves thousands of dollars from market fluctuations alone. Not because you became rich overnight, because decades finally gave compounding enough space to become visible. And then year 40 arrives. You contributed roughly $14,600 total. $1 a day. Less than many people spend without memory in a single month. And the account value reaches approximately $190,000 to $200,000, assuming long-term market returns near historical averages. FV equals 30. 0.10/12. 1 plus 0.10/12. For 180. Minus 1. You put in around $14,600. Compounding added roughly $180,000 more. Not through trading. Not through prediction. Not through luck. Through time. That is the part people consistently misunderstand about investing. Wealth is often less about massive financial moves and more about sustained direction. A dollar feels powerless because we measure money by immediate impact. Compounding measures money differently. It measures what happens when behavior repeats for decades. And the decades are going to pass either way. The question is whether small amounts continue disappearing into things you never remember buying, or whether they begin building something your future self will never stop being grateful for. $1 a day will not make you instantly wealthy, but it can permanently change the trajectory of your financial life. Not because the dollar is large, because consistency, multiplied by time, becomes larger than intuition can naturally understand.